ladies, welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be talking about the 3 daily habits to increase your self-love. So the reason why we are talking about this is because love is one of the most magnetic, radiant, vibrational frequencies that are out there. That's going to help you attract your dream life. That is going to help you attract things to you. And most of all, truly become your dream goal, to become your dream self. If we don't love ourselves, there is no way that we can become our dream selves. And as you know, my word of the year is radiant, and self-love is one of those things that is going to make you feel radiant, to make you feel beautiful, that's going to make you feel magnetic every single day. And so I'm going to give you 3 daily habits that I do that has helped me increase my self-love. And this is coming from a person who used to hate myself. I didn't love anything about myself. I didn't even know why people loved me. And so I had to learn how to love myself. And so these are the 3 things that I've done and I still practice that has helped me consistently increase my self-love. And so I want to help you do the same thing. Let's go ahead and get into it. So number 1, the first habit that I started to incorporate was simply journaling, I love you because. Now, there's 2 reasons why I started to write this down is because number 1, when I was in relationships, I was never able to understand what made me lovable. Why did people love me? I didn't understand it. I couldn't wrap my head around it. And so that left me, right? That left me very vulnerable because if I didn't know what made me lovable, there was an opportunity for someone to tell me this is what makes you lovable or this is what not makes you lovable, and to make me feel like there was nothing lovable about myself. So I had to learn how to start telling myself I love you because. The second reason is because when I was in therapy before, I remember specifically my therapist asking me, like, what do you love about yourself? And I had no clue what to say. Have you ever experienced that? I'm sure you have, because it's a very common thing. A lot of people do not know what they love about themselves, right? They don't know. And it is something that it is necessary, especially if you want to have your dream life, if you want to become your dream person, because love is a very strong magnetic field. What it can do is, if you are not choosing to love yourself, your vibration is very low and whatever you want is up here, right? And oftentimes, if you don't line that up, then it's going to be really hard to attract truly what you desire most in a way that you deserve most. So I started to incorporate this practice. And what happened when I started to incorporate this practice? Number 1, I was learning how to validate myself. Now I was able to see, I am lovable because of this, and this. What maybe someone felt that I wasn't lovable about, what if I love that about myself? And I decided to say that. So that helps you separate the difference between accepting external approval about yourself or external beliefs. So oftentimes what happens is this: we internalize other people's beliefs about ourselves, and then we eventually, if we don't understand what makes us lovable, we eventually accept that to be right. We accept that to be true. And in return, it builds our self-concept, right? It builds our identity of what we believe about ourselves. Just to give you an example, I remember years ago, family members, mostly family members, right? People would be like, oh, you're so stuck up, you're so standoffish. And that made me not like the introvert part of me. That made me not like the reserved part of me. That actually made me feel like something was wrong with me, until I had to start saying, you know what? Actually, I love that I'm reserved. I love me because I am an introvert. Right? I do love that about myself. Maybe there are times where I can improve and be a little bit more extroverted, and I have. However, I love that about me. I love me time. I love not having to be around people all the time. And so I had to learn to accept that and see that as not a problem. See that as not a problem. And so that actually helped me improve my identity. So when you start writing I love you, because you begin to change your self-concept about yourself. You begin to see yourself in your eyes, not someone else's eyes, because they can no longer tell you what is lovable about you, what makes you right, what makes you wrong. You get to determine that. So I love you because that is something that you get when you write that. Another thing that happens when you start writing I love you, because it increases your habit of paying attention to yourself. Oftentimes, we don't really pay attention to ourselves, right? This is why a lot of times we don't know why we love ourselves. So when you say I love you because it makes you, it forces you to pay attention to what makes you special. It forces you to pay attention to what makes you unique. Why is this important? Because let's say you want to be a queen of impact, right? You want to show up, you want to create content. But if you don't know what makes you special, if you don't know what makes you unique, you're going to be fighting with yourself. You're going to feel like an imposter. You're going to feel like you don't deserve to take up space. You're going to feel like you don't belong there. You're going to be thinking, who do you think you are? No, you have to learn how to pay attention to these so that you can understand what makes you special, what makes you unique, especially if you want more, especially if you want to achieve certain goals, or if you want a certain job, or whatever it is that you want in your life, a new partner. What makes you special? If you can't identify certain things that make you special, you will always question, what makes me special? You will always feel like you don't deserve to be in a place that you want to be. You won't feel validated. You will always feel like an imposter. So that's what that I love you because can help you do. It helps you pay attention to you, pay attention to what makes you special, what you bring to the table, what is so good about you, what is right about you. And so I love this practice because of that. Another thing that I've noticed when I started incorporating the practice I love you because is that my energy went way high. I felt more magnetic. I felt more radiant. I felt pretty much like that girl, right? Because I'm giving myself life. I'm speaking life into myself. That's like you are a little flower ready to blossom. Just like they talk to plants, they bring life. You are in relationship to yourself. We are all in relationship to everything. But as you being your most important relationship, you have to learn how to speak life into yourself. So just saying, I love you because you are special. I love you because you are a great mom. I love you because you are such a great friend. I love you because, and saying your name, I forgot to mention this part. When you say, I love you because, I challenge you to say your name. I love you, Clea, because when you say your name, it's like you're speaking to your soul. When you say your name, you are taking notice of you specifically. And you can do this in mirror work. I try this and looking at myself in a mirror and even journaling. It is such a powerful habit to do. So like I was saying, you are your most important relationship. If you have things that you desire, you want to be radiating at your most magnetic yourself. Love, again, is the most powerful vibration that is out there. Gratitude is powerful, yes. Authenticity is powerful, yes. But love, when you can truly, truly love yourself, then that radiates joy, that radiates confidence, and you will start drawing things into you. So what I'm going to do for you guys is put in a PDF form some of my written statements of why I love myself, just so that you can steal it. You can steal it so it can give you inspiration. A lot of times we have things in common. You can take some that feels right to you and just leave the rest that doesn't feel in alignment. However, I just want to give you some ideas to kind of give you a boost of inspiration about what you love about yourself that you can take and journal down yourself or go do some mirror work yourself. Number 2, the second daily habit to do to increase and improve your self-love is to do things every single day that makes you feel like a lovable person. Make yourself proud. So just like incorporating the habit of writing down the reasons why you love yourself is also important to know some of the things that you don't like about yourself and the things that you want to improve in. So what can you do to make yourself proud, right? So for an example, for me, again, even though I love being a reserved person, even though I accept it and actually love that I have more of an introvert personality, however, what I didn't love about myself is making people not feel so warm when they meet me because I was a little bit more standoffish. So what I decided to do is say, you know what? I want to have a more warm personality, even though, I love being a little bit reserved, even though I love being an introvert, I still want to give warmth, right? Because again, that makes you feel good. That makes you feel radiant. That makes you feel magnetic. So what I started doing is simply when I go to Starbucks or when I go to a coffee shop or when I go to certain places, maybe someone is ringing up my order. If I see a name tag, I simply just say their name. Thank you, right? Say their name and thank you. That makes them feel seen. That makes them feel special. Or giving compliments, right? Giving compliments to show that, like, I see you, that you are special. And, ooh, girl, I like what you're wearing. Ooh, I love your hair. Oh, just simple things like that. Another thing that I started doing was telling people what's good about them instead of just only speaking life in myself, speaking life in other people. That made me feel good. That made me feel lovable. So what can you do to make you feel like a more lovable person? Not necessarily loved in the eyes of someone else, but that can increase your love for yourself, right? So maybe you don't like about yourself that you give up quickly. Well, maybe you would practice not giving up on something. Or maybe you don't like about yourself that you are quick to judge. Maybe you will decide today that, you know what, instead of being judgmental, I am going to listen to someone. Or maybe you don't love yourself that you are a wallflower and that you are shy. But maybe you are actually going to say hi, introduce yourself to somebody. Those are little things that can make you feel love about yourself, or keeping your word to yourself, getting up to work out. What are things that are going to make you feel lovable? So why is this important? It's because action plus affirmations is going to create that self-belief. So in my previous video about thinking highly about yourself, I said that when you have an affirmation, oftentimes most people don't believe the affirmation is because they may say that I am warm, I am encouraging, I am smart. You may see these affirmations, but if you don't align it with action, it's really hard to believe it. So when you actually do actionable things every day, if you can, right? Just intentionally, just thinking that I'm going to do this. When you take action every day to prove those affirmations, you are going to start believing that about you. And so instead of now having to force an affirmation to make yourself, to increase that self-love, you are actually attaching action to it. You are attaching proof to it. So now if I started saying that I am warm, I am welcoming, and I actually went and did it and complimented somebody and looked them in the eye and said their name and made them feel special in that moment, then guess what? I just proved to myself that I am warm. I am welcoming. But if I didn't, then I would never believe it, right? I would never start to love that about myself. So action plus affirmation gives you living proof, right? So times that living proof, how many times you do it. So action plus affirmation times living proof means how many times you do it, the consistency that you do it equals self-belief. It increases your self-confidence, it increases your self-image, it increases your self-love, because you start seeing this thing about yourself that, this is what makes me special. Again, you start to validate yourself and prove that about yourself, so that when you get airs, right, when you start getting people saying, this is about you, this is about you, this is about you, nope, you have living proof. You know exactly why you are love yourself, why you love yourself. You know exactly what makes you special. You know exactly what makes you great. You know exactly what makes you unique and why people love you. You know why you love yourself. So action, again, action plus affirmation times living proof, the consistency equals an increased self-belief. But there has to be conscious effort. Conscious effort is required. Every day, give it intention, because sometimes you will forget. However, when you intentionally just set the stage, set the plan that today, you know what? I'm going to work on this. I want to love this about myself. I want to love being a consistent person. I want to love being a welcoming person. What can I do today to prove that this is true about me? So again, the second daily habit is doing something that makes you feel lovable, that is going to make you feel like you love yourself and prove to yourself that you are great. The third daily habit to incorporate to improve and increase your self-love is to start treating yourself with love and respect. So one of the ways that you can start treating yourself with love and respect is simply by paying attention to how you speak to yourself, right? How would you speak to a friend? How would you speak to a family member who maybe has made a mistake, who maybe, who did something not the greatest? How would you speak to them? You will give them love and you give them respect. So start treating yourself with love and respect. This looks like holding yourself accountable, but also giving yourself compassion, saying it's okay, you are still loved. It's okay, people make mistakes. One of the things that I've done for myself is giving myself a mental space for mistakes. So the reason why I started doing this is because I was a person that really got hard on myself when I make mistakes. I hate making mistakes. However, I had to tell myself it's okay to make mistakes. What if I gave myself space for mistakes? What if I created a box, a literal box, and started writing down mistakes that I made, right? So if I made a mistake, I write it down. This is a mistake that I made. Throw it in a box, and then I set myself free. I didn't create the box, but I gave myself that mental space, that mental box. So when I make mistakes, I make a note in my head. I made this mistake. I write it out in my head, and I throw it inside the box, and I'm set free. That to me is treating myself with love. So what are some things that you can do to treat yourself with love and respect? Let me give you some more ideas. So another thing that you can start doing that treats yourself with love is prioritizing looking good all the time. I talked about this before on how to feel radiant every day is getting dressed, making it a non-negotiable to get dressed, to make yourself feel beautiful. This is a simple way to treat yourself with love is to love yourself enough for you to want to show up as your best, because when you look good, you feel good, you feel, again, radiant, you feel magnetic. And when you feel good, honestly, if you haven't noticed, is that when you look good, when you put yourself together, you take that time and effort in the morning, you do different things throughout the day. You might eat better than you normally would, because it's like you look at yourself differently. You may work harder than you normally would. You will be more consistent than you normally would. You would want to show up in a better way, right? And that is a form of self-love. So prioritizing looking good, setting the stage for you to look good, for you to feel good, and to show up as your best, to give yourself your best. People would treat you differently. You will vibrate differently when you show up as your best. So that is one. The second way is eat food like you love yourself. This is another way of treating yourself like you love yourself. I cannot stress this enough. Food is nutrition to your body. And a lot of diseases, a lot of things are caused, your energy, low energy, a lot of things are caused by us not paying attention to the food that goes in our body. I truly believe in 80-20, eating as healthy as possible, right? Or more nutritious, let's say that, because healthy is in the eye of the beholder. But 20% allowing yourself to be free and to give yourself, your cravings, right? We love that. However, when you eat like you love yourself, you just choose differently. You feel better. You help your gut. The level of your gut health either increases your mood or decreases your mood. Something that I researched about 2 years ago, because I was having gut issues. I learned that when you have a healthy gut, it increases the serotonin in your brain, which is a feel-good hormone. And so what I also learned is that low self-esteem, depression, people who suffer from that oftentimes have a low amount of serotonin. And so this is why gut health is so important. And so when you eat food like you love yourself, you are increasing naturally your self-esteem, and you are naturally keeping yourself from getting more depressed. Another way to start treating yourself like you love yourself and like you respect yourself is setting boundaries. Setting boundaries and not entertaining people or things that drain you, that make you feel less than, that takes from you. Setting those boundaries. This is why I do absolutely no longer do situationships, because those drain you. It drains your energy, and it makes you feel you're not loved enough to be the one who is chosen. Absolutely not. So for me, situationships is I'm unavailable for it, right? Another thing of treating yourself with love is honoring your commitments to yourself, pouring into your dream goal like you say you're going to pour into your dream goal. Being disciplined, that is you loving yourself, because one thing I know is that when you don't keep your word to yourself, and when you are not committed like you can be, it does nothing but bring your self-esteem down and your self-love down, because that's something you naturally don't love about yourself, and you're going to continue reaffirming that you don't love about yourself, and it's going to remind you of what makes you not so great, right? It is just a constant reaffirmation, and you don't want that. So love yourself, treat yourself with that self-love by honoring your commitments to yourself so you can increase that self-love. Again, take that action to prove that affirmation. And then another way to start treating yourself like you love yourself is just simply giving yourself daily pleasure, daily joy, doing things that make you laugh, doing things that feel good to your body, things that's going to make you feel good throughout the day. To me, that is treating yourself like you love yourself. When you do that, you increase your self-love for yourself. I'm a little bit in a rush because I have to go pick up my daughter from school. However, just to rehash the 3 daily habits that will increase your self-esteem. Number 1, is to say, I love you because. You can do mirror work with that, or you can journal it. I recommend doing both. Again, this is going to start helping you validate yourself and pay attention to why you actually love yourself. The second thing is to do things, take the action to give yourself proof of that affirmation. Do things every single day that makes you proud of yourself, that makes you feel good about yourself, that you can start saying, oh, I love that about myself. I love that I give people compliments. I love that I'm consistent. I love that I show up on time. I love that about myself, right? So do things every day to give yourself reasons of why you love yourself. The third habit is to be intentional about treating yourself with love and respect. Set those boundaries. Pour love on yourself every single day. Get dressed every single day like you love yourself. Show up as your best self. Treat yourself. Take care of your body. Take care of your skin. These are ways to show you that you love yourself. Don't allow yourself to be mistreated. Don't allow yourself to be in situationships, right? Don't allow yourself to be disrespected by people. Treat yourself like you love yourself. Give yourself joy, right? Give yourself rest. Give yourself pleasure. Give yourself fun. Give yourself laughter. You deserve all of that because you simply love yourself. Help yourself feel good. Pour into yourself. Allow yourself to radiate. Allow yourself to feel good. Allow yourself to be magnetic. And so these are 3 things to do to help increase your self-love. Again, if you don't know why you love yourself and you want to steal some of my I love you because, just head to the link in the description box and I will send you a copy of some of my I love you because. All right, ladies, until next time, bye.